This week on FRC Media News, the city is hosting a program to get those struggling with homelessness back to work while cleaning the city at the same time. Bishop Connolly High School holds its final graduation, and the 4th edition of Fall River Pride Day takes place this weekend. All that and a lot more coming up. It's Thursday, June 1st, 2023. This is FRC Media News. I'm Keith Tebow. The city of Fall River is embarking on a pilot project that aims to get those who are homeless back to work while also tackling the city's litter problem. Fall River Shines is funded by a grant from the Bristol County Training Consortium. It employs 5 individuals to work for the city weekday mornings, picking up trash across Fall River. The prospective employees are selected from among those who attend the day drop-in location at the Tomeo Center on Bay Street. Director Lisa Mello says many individuals are interested in going to work, but obstacles persist.
Because it's, a real job, they have to have the documentation, and some of them, because they haven't had an address or haven't been in a place to be able to get the support they need to figure out, what do I do to get to point A to then move to point B. We've been able to connect the dots with some of them and get that, the pieces of documentation that they need to be able to work. What's nice is they're able to come in, get breakfast, go out and work. When they come back, it's lunchtime. So that actually works out well. Then they can take a shower. So I feel like they feel like, well, I've just put in like a real day, at work. And I think it just helps with their worth and their self-esteem and just kind of restoring some of the things that have been taken away through their circumstances.
Along with working to beautify the city, the employees also take part in weekly skills training that will make them more marketable for their next job. Ms. Mello says the part-time work schedule fits this group of individuals well.
It's really hard sometimes to ask people to go from not working to 40 hours. So this, I believe, makes them a little bit more successful, sets them up to then go to the next step, which may be a position for 20 or 25 hours or whatever, and then work towards full-time. So I do like the fact that we're not asking them to get up and figure out how to work 40 hours a week when they're still living in the woods and having all these other barriers for them. So I think that that's a great start there. I've already heard from people how great it makes them feel just to have something to do, some kind of purpose, and that they also are making the city look a little bit better, because what they're doing is going out to the points that the city's identifying to clean up. So they're cleaning up litter, they're able to pick up any drug paraphernalia that they find. They've got a sharps container, all those kinds of things, if they can safely do so. But again, just cleaning up things, making things safer and making them look better.
Mayor Paul Coogan says the program provides positive reinforcement for these employees to turn around their lives.
We're going to try to get these people back to work ready so that they can transition into regular full-time work, and then we'll bring some other people in. It's something we're trying to do. I mean, it's fraught with problems, but we've got it going, and we're going to hope it cleans the city and brings some people back into the workforce. This is a pilot. Let's see how it does. We want people, get a little dignity, get a little respect, earn a little bit of money, and at the same time be a benefit to the city of Fall River. Obviously, this is one tremendous problem nationwide, dealing with homelessness, and we fight it every day, but again, small steps.
Ms. Mello says as the summer progresses, there will be efforts made to accommodate more people.
We'd like to evaluate around week 5 or 6, or even maybe at 4, and say, hey, the 3 that have been working have been diligent, they've been showing up, they've been working well, and see if we can get them to the Career Center to see what we can maybe roll them into as far as another job that's maybe something they really want to do or offers them more hours a week. And then what we want to do is then be able to shift some of these other people into their positions on the street cleanup crew and to be able to kind of roll people over. So it may not be the same people the entire pilot, program all the way until August, and that's actually really what we want to do, is because we want to get people employed in more longer term solutions for them.
Fall River Shines is just one element of how the Tomeo Center works with the homeless to get them back to work.
We have the computers so they can job search, they can apply right on the computer to most places nowadays. If they have to print out something, they can print it out. But the bottom line, again, becomes that foundation of, do they have an ID? Do they have a social security card? Do they have a birth certificate? Whatever it is they're going to need to be able to work. So we've kind of started chipping off those pieces first. But we have had a few people who have gotten jobs. We've been able to take a couple of people to job interviews, get them the clothes that they need for the interviews and sometimes for the jobs themselves. But a lot of people do come in and they're like, hey, they're overwhelmed. Where do I even start? How do I do this? And so we just try to help them map it out one step at a time to be able to get into that. So it is nice to see everyone very encouraged to, and then it kind of lights a fire in everyone else. So when somebody comes in and they're like, I got the job, everybody's excited. They're like, yeah, everybody's cheering them on. And then it kind of lights that excitement and people are like, okay, well, maybe I can do this too. And I think it just puts out this just widespread encouragement to everyone.
City Police and the Bristol County District Attorney's Office are investigating the city's second homicide of the year. Police responded to shots fired Monday afternoon at the Globe Car Wash on Broadway, where they found the body of 45-year-old Jessina Simmons of New Bedford in one of the car wash bays. 33-year-old Angelo Leo of Fall River has been arrested and arraigned on murder charges and is being held without bail. A former Fall River police officer this week was convicted of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, witness intimidation, civil rights violations, and filing false reports in an incident involving a city individual back in February of 2019. According to the Herald News, Michael Pessoa was found guilty of using excessive force while on duty in his interaction with city resident David LaFrance. Mr. Pessoa was terminated from the police department after an internal investigation into this and other charges found that he had acted in an inappropriate manner. He's being held without bail to face sentencing on June 7th. A culinary arts teacher in Fall River has pled not guilty to one count of indecent assault and battery of a person over the age of 14. According to WJAR-TV, Paul Corey is denying he touched the student inappropriately several times while he was in his class. School Superintendent Maria Ponce says when the school was alerted of the charges, Mr. Corey was placed on administrative leave, where he remains. 37 seniors at Bishop Connolly High School were celebrated at the school's 54th and final graduation ceremony yesterday afternoon. Earlier this spring, the Diocese of Fall River announced that due to low enrollment, the school will close for good at the end of this academic year. At the ceremony, Student Body President Brandon DeFarrier says even though the school is closing, the community of people at Bishop Connolly will persevere over the sadness of its loss.
Connolly is not the place where you stand currently. Right here, right now, this is Connolly. The people around you, we are Connolly together. We remember the memories we created together in the halls, the fields, the classrooms, the auditorium, the cafeteria, the parking lot. Everywhere we made memories together. But we don't pay attention to the physical aspects of these places. We look at the unforgettable memories that we created together, the good and the bad. Connolly lives through us, and we will never let it go. These past few months have been hard on all of us, but we stayed strong together. We came closer as a community and lifted each other up. We don't know what the future holds for any of us, but know that your Connolly family is by your side.
Valedictorian Anya Costello said the memories of the class of 2023 will be the springboard to a bright future.
Each of these experiences that shaped us over the years can be put to use in the world, perhaps through college or a career, and certainly through service. While we've been taught to write essays and solve equations, we've also been taught to act as mindful citizens. As members of a Catholic school community, we've benefited from an environment that encourages us to pursue causes larger than ourselves. Many of us will continue to pursue those causes rooted in faith and find great purpose in it. There are artists and scientists, inventors and historians among us. Be the artists who speak to others through their work, and the scientists who think not of the award, but of universal understanding and advancement. In an epidemic of egotism, be the altruists.
The Most Reverend Edgar de Cunha, Bishop of Fall River, told the graduates to never waver from their faith as they navigate what is to come next.
I'm hopeful that you have also grown in your faith, deepening your relationship with God, your desire to be a better person, and your intention to make this world a better place. Please allow your faith to be a source of strength and guidance throughout your whole life. Remember that as you embark on the next chapter of your life, God has a plan for each of you. You may not know what that plan is yet, but trust in God's guidance and take one step at a time.
Tomorrow night, 527 members of the class of 2023 at BMC Durfee High School will graduate at a ceremony to be held at Mac Aldrich Field. Durfee Principal Matthew Damaris says each student was given 5 tickets for family and friends to attend in one of the seated areas of the field.
We're asking graduates to report for 5 p.m. to get them organized, to get their graduation portrait done ahead of the ceremony. Gates will open right around 6 p.m. for ticketed guests. Those guests will get a wristband that will allow them into the seating areas. At 7 o'clock, once the graduates proceed onto the field, once they're in place, we will open the gates to non-ticketed guests, and they will be allowed to stand around the perimeter of the field. They will not be allowed into seating areas. However, there's a lot of room, so we're hoping that this will help us out. They'll get a look at our brand new sports complex with a new turf field, so we have to remind everybody, anybody that's looking to sit on the field, they cannot wear high heels, and it's recommended that they don't wear high heels at all because sometimes it's a little difficult navigating the bleachers, etc.
Mr. Damaris says the class of 2023 faced challenges not experienced by those who came before or who will come after.
The pandemic hit in March of 2020 during their freshman year, and then if they went remote, they didn't come back to be with us in person until they were juniors. And then with the pandemic being officially over just a few weeks ago, it affected the entirety of their experience in high school. So they're the COVID class, unfortunately. The spirit of the class of 2023 is undeniable. They just really regrouped. They've had a great senior year. Senior prom just this past Friday night was an event that went off without a hitch, and the kids really had some fun. So yeah, they definitely made the most of the experience, and they're leaving here with some really great memories for sure.
After graduation, the focus at Durfee will be completing the school year, which ends on June 16th. Mr. Damaris says the 2022-2023 year was one of high achievement.
We had a very orderly learning environment this year, minimal problems. When we look at what happened that was positive, we received national recognition for our AP program. Our early college partnerships with UMass Dartmouth, Bridgewater State University, and Bristol Community College continue to grow, more kids earning college credits while they're high school students. Our 9 CTE programs are all of them are just about at full subscription. We have a thriving after dark program in our cosmetology and our health assisting programs. The dedicated teachers and support staff that work with our students every day, that's the primary mission. Learning can happen anywhere. However, this brand new facility is really enhancing so many aspects of what we do, and it's really giving kids the message that you matter, that we care about you, and you are worth it. So they're treating this building with respect, and they're getting a top-notch education.
1 week from today, 330 seniors from Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School will walk the stage at its graduation. The venue for the event will shift to Durfee High School as Diamond is preparing to begin construction on its new high school. Principal Andrew Ribello says the class of 2023 was a class like no other.
Think about the class of 2023. What a resilient bunch, right? Their freshman year in March, they had a normal experience up until March of their freshman year, where we transitioned to virtual learning, and then even coming back, we were in person and virtual, that hybrid approach for a year. They've had to respond to challenges, crisis after crisis, every step of the way, but it made them determined and resilient, and this class is better off for it. So even coming back into a normal atmosphere, they've had to respond to challenges every step of the way, and this is one of my favorite classes of all time because they are such a resilient bunch, and they're going to be so successful in life.
Mr. Ribello says celebrating the senior class is always the highlight of Diamond's year.
This is why we do the job, right? This is, graduation day is the culmination of all the hard work over 4 years. We only get 4 years with our students, so every year it's getting them ready for life, getting them prepared for the world, and all of that effort, all of that hard work from our teachers and our students is celebrated during graduation. And this year, I can say 330 students, I think they are ready for life, which is our mission. Getting kids life ready, and we can't wait to celebrate this group. Shaking every kid's hand and seeing the smile on their face and their family's face, that's what excites me. That's what, after a long year, after a hard 4 years, seeing the smile of the students and their families and the amount of pride that they have in their kids, that's what excites me, and that is what is so special about this day.
Graduates are being asked to report next Thursday at 5 p.m. at Durfee High School, with the ceremony slated to start at 6. The Fall River City Council voted this week to reject a measure that would have raised the salaries of school committee members and rescind a ban on cost of living increases for the mayor, city council, and school committee. The council vote was 4-4 on raising the school committee pay to that of the council, which is currently at just under $16,100 a year. The school committee currently makes just under $8,000 a year, a wage that has not increased in 20 years. The council then voted 5-3 against rescinding a measure from 2010 that would eliminate cost of living increases to elected officials. The council needed 6 votes to approve those changes. Councilor Leo Pelletier did not attend this week's meeting. Council President Joseph Camara was one of the councilors who voted no on both proposals, saying it's not warranted and sends the wrong message to voters.
Nobody does this for the money. If you do it for the money, you're in the wrong field. You're in the wrong position. I don't know any of my colleagues that do it for the money. I don't think they do. I know I don't do it for the money. And I think that if you meet once a month with all the responsibilities that you do and you feel that $6,000 doesn't compensate for that, then you shouldn't be a school committee member. Maybe you should run for something else in a different position, or you should take a different job up if you're doing it for the money. If an increase is going to make you stay in the school committee position, where if you don't get the money, you're going to leave, then I think you should just leave if it's about the money. Same thing with the city councilors. I think I'm perfectly fine receiving what I receive, and I've been doing it since 2010. I'm not looking for an increase. I think the pay that you get to do this job is adequate, and it's sufficient enough. Cost of living increase. Maybe I could agree with that. I still wouldn't at this point in time, because I think what we make right now is sufficient. There are people that work in this building for a long, long time that don't get that type of increase, and there's people that work outside this building. We're paying people $16.50 an hour to do public work, public works people, and we struggle to give them a raise, which is a sad state.
The proposal to raise the pay of the school committee came at the request of member Kevin Aguiar. Councilor Camara says in his discussions with other members of the school committee, they were not in favor of the pay hike. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. On-site medical representative. Amazon Fulfillment Center, located at 1180 Innovation Way, is looking for a full-time on-site medical representative to help provide assistance with all first aid needs and support operations within the facility. Job number 191-08095. Office Assistant Bookkeeper. Mishot Accounting and Financial Services, located at 1467 South Main Street, is seeking a part-time office assistant bookkeeper responsible for providing office support, clerical, and daily bookkeeping tasks to ensure best practices. Job number 191-14499. Retail Cashier. Rocky's Ace Hardware, located at 1702 President Avenue, is looking for a full-time retail cashier responsible for processing and receiving payments and issuing receipts to customers. Job number 191-12212. Medical Assistant. South Coast Women's Care, located at 300 Hanover Street, Suite 1E, is looking for a full-time medical assistant. For more information, call 508-679-7770. Charlton Memorial Hospital, located at 363 Highland Avenue, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. CT Technologist. Job number 191-13696. Intensive Care Registered Nurse. Job number 191-13688. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Citizens for Citizens in Fall River is celebrating the opening of a new Early Head Start Center in the Highlands neighborhood across from Charlton Memorial Hospital. The birth to 5-year-old daycare center is now one of 8 locations in the organization's service area as part of its child care program. Director Pam Wilnauer says the new location builds upon the extensive services offered to young children.
Early Head Start and Head Start are really comprehensive. So we do early education and care, obviously, for the children that are with us, but they also are getting nutrition care, they're getting health care, we have nurses on site, we screen every child for their vision and their hearing, we have dentists come in and do dental screening, and hygienists come in and clean the children's teeth. We have a wonderful USDA program where we're providing nutritious meals for them. They get breakfast, lunch, and a snack every day that they're with us. We have social services available for the entire family. So whatever it is that they may need, we're able to assist them with our own team, or we're able to refer them out to all of the wonderful community partners that we have in the city.
Ms. Wilnauer says expanding pre-K opportunities, particularly for those who cannot afford it, prepare children to succeed when they enter kindergarten.
We service families that don't traditionally are not eligible for like a child care voucher or a subsidy to help them pay for preschool. So if they don't get into Head Start or Early Head Start, the chances of them having an opportunity for preschool before kindergarten are very slim. And we've seen the results. Children that come through our program have the school readiness skills that they need to be successful in kindergarten. We often hear from the public schools, they know which children are coming in from the Head Start program. They also know which parents are coming in from the Head Start program because they are well prepared for life after Head Start, life in the schools, and for their future education.
The child care program at Citizens for Citizens is at capacity with people on waiting lists.
When we opened the site, we now have 115 slots for Early Head Start for a 0 to 3 population. 115 slots filled up immediately. We had about 260 on the waiting list to come into the program. Our Head Start services children ages 3 to 5. We have 365 slots for that age group, and we had about 160 on the waiting list this year for those slots as well. So the need is great. We are currently enrolling children for the new school year, which will start in September. Enrollment works on a need basis, so it's not first come, first serve. We have a requirement from the federal government that funds our program to serve the children and families with the highest need. So there's a rating criteria that we utilize. The higher the number, the higher the need, the more likely a family will get enrolled in the program.
Fall River's Pride Committee is preparing to host its 4th annual Pride Day event this Sunday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Committee President Sean Connell says this year's event will be held at a new location. the gates of the city on the waterfront.
From our first Pride Fest in 2018 that had about 300 people, and we were just a small spot in between Postal Worker Square and City Hall. And then up to last year, where we closed down part of Anawan Street and had all of Old 2nd Street done up, and we had almost 1,500 people. And then this year it was promising to be even bigger. We have 80 vendors, we have 30 performers, so we thought it would be best to kind of bring it to a place where we could have a bit more open space and be able to stretch out all of our vendors. We're getting a stage this year. So we're really kind of pushing ourselves and pushing the boundaries. So it only made sense to kind of push for a new location that made it a little bit easier to be a little bit bigger.
Connell says the committee held a special contest to create a theme for this year's event.
The theme that won through our public voting was strengthening the ties and breaking the chains. And we think that's a really, really important theme to kind of think about this year, because we're really trying to understand that LGBT people are part of the greater community. And we kind of want to break down some of those chains and barriers that it's kind of pushed us to the side or kind of demonized us, that we harm children and all these other really kind of almost evil tropes that we've seen, and strengthen the ties of community and strengthen the idea of being together as one humanity with a lot of different ways to form love in a family.
Plans are in the works for a larger celebration in 2024 as the event reaches its 5th anniversary. All the work the committee undertakes seeks broader awareness of the LGBTQ community here in Fall River.
I think that it's really important that people can see that LGBT people are just part of the greater Fall River community. We're part of the greater Fall River fabric. We've always been here. I was born and raised in Fall River myself. Most of my committee members are too. And I think we've had a huge impact in allowing kids to, and just people in general, to kind of be out, be themselves. I was once wearing one of my Pride shirts to a Cumberland Farms, and the cashier told me about how they were able to go to Pride with their mom, and they were able to come out and be with their girlfriend, and it was a really powerful experience for them. And just the fact that one person could have had that experience makes all of it more than worth it.
We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Bubba. Bubba here is a 10-year-old lab and boxer mix. He is a gentle and well-mannered dude. His previous owner unfortunately had to give him up. He was an owner surrendered to us. He is still very active, so he still will want regular walks, all that sort of thing. He's not quite as fast as a younger gentleman, but he still's got plenty of energy in him. Since we don't really have a history with him, we're asking for just adults in the home. We did his cat test, seeing how he is with cats. We did notice he fixates on them very heavily, so we're going to say no cats for him, just because we want to make sure nothing happens. If you'd like to come and meet Bubba, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have a little bit of a change of pace. Rather than hot dogs or cool cats, we're doing some awesome small animals. We're showing you right now some guinea pigs. We would just like to put out there that we don't just have those other guys. We also have a lot of small animals here and there. Guinea pigs are a frequent flyer while they're here. Not the same guinea pigs, but different guinea pigs. In addition to guinea pigs, we of course have a lot of rabbits, birds, sometimes we have ferrets, sometimes we've had mice, rats, some less warm-blooded things like frogs or snakes. So we do get those. If you'd like to come down and visit any of these guys, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.